Life's too short to drive boring cars. This year, buying cars has been absolute insanity. Prices are high, dealers are gouging, and you can't find a great deal anywhere. But you want to maximize your buying power and get the best deal and the best car for your money. Well, so did I. When my BMW 335 became so problematic, I decided to upgrade. I bought a Jaguar F-Type, and my wife's BMW X5 ran out of miles. We decided to upgrade to this little beauty, the Mercedes C300. But we went in armed with some tricks that helped us get the best deal possible. So I'm going to share a list of 4 amazing tips that'll help you get the best car for your dollars. Let's get into it now. So I know a lot of folks believe that there's an optimal time to buy a car. The time of the year or the month or even the time of the week to shop, and I'll get into that. That is correct. But let's get into the first tip. Don't be bothered getting into the latest and greatest. There's always a brand new hot car out, and that's obviously the hot seller. That's going to be the vehicle that everybody wants. Don't buy that one unless you really need to have it. However, there's a lot of money to be saved if you buy the latest outgoing version of that particular model. A prime example, the 911, as we see back here. Here we have a 991, that's the outgoing, and then we have the latest is the 992 generation 911. Sure, there's some updates. If you look at the headlights are a little different versus these style taillights on the new one versus taillights on the old one. There are some distinct differences even in performance, but this is not that much greater of a car than the older outgoing model, so this is actually a better buy. Another great example is the BMW M4, like this. This is the outgoing model. This one actually has the S55 engine that makes 425 horsepower and more depending on the state of tune, and really is an enthusiast's dream for driving perspective. Such a menacing look. Quad pipes, M4 badging, carbon fiber roof, dual clutch transmission, great styling, heads-up display, and just a style that just has not gotten old. The benefit in buying this car is A, you're going to pay less, and B, the new incoming M4 is showing to be a very, very controversial style, and a lot of enthusiasts are not liking it all that much. So this is another great reason to get into an outgoing BMW M4. This is the car to have right here. And so there's other benefits to getting the outgoing version versus the new one, and it's more than just dollars in your pockets. It's also the fact that most of the bugs have been worked out. When you're buying the newest, the latest, and the greatest, guaranteed there's almost always things that we're not seeing. Look at the Corvette C8, for example. Great example of a car that just wasn't quite ready to go. So tip number 2 has to do with buying when the dealers are motivated to do so. For example, everybody knows September is kind of that date where the dealers are trying to sell and motivate the new cars and push the new cars, and obviously equally trying to push out the old models. That is the time you want to dive in. Other times of the year to move vehicles like this, all of these vehicles have to sell. Other times of the year that the dealers are really motivated has to do with because of sales targets. They're trying to achieve certain targets, not just for themselves internally. That's a very competitive market, but also to the manufacturers and the suppliers. They have promises and quotas. They have to make certain sales targets. It's all these vehicles that you see parked over here all have to move within a certain time frame. So yeah, what is that time frame? Motivated dealers are often very motivated to push cars at the end of every quarter. So March, June, September, or December. Can you even believe it? Christmas Eve is a great time to even sell a vehicle. As a matter of fact, my wife's Mercedes, we didn't buy it in December. We bought it at the end of one of the quarters. And even when we bought it, they put a nice little bow on top of it to show that it's a gift, almost a gift in anticipation for Christmas. It's a great little feather in their cap if they meet these targets. So you definitely want to be knocking on their door sometime at the end of those quarters. So the third tip has to do with possibly buying a used vehicle. Maybe you didn't want that latest and the greatest. Maybe you just want something that's very late model and you're buying it from a dealer as well. There are optimal times there to maximize your buying power. Used vehicles don't see the same benefit in buying at the same quarters as you get in the new vehicles, because new vehicles quotas are different than used cars that sit on the lot like we see back here. There's no definite number other than the fact that they don't want that vehicle on the lot for X amount of days or more. So they're going to try to motivate, but it has nothing to do with the quarters per se. It's not as targeted as it is with the new vehicles that they're trying to move for the manufacturer. There's sort of two tricks to this. Number one is picking the right time of the week to go in there, and that has to do typically with the weekdays. Don't go in the weekends when there's a hustle bustle and there's one salesperson trying to look after 3 customers. You're not going to get the best deal there. The hustle bustle is going to drive prices up a little bit. What you want to do is come in during a weekday when things are a little quieter, where you have time to talk to the dealer. At that point, they're also a little more motivated to offer you a better price. The other thing to consider consider, because it's not driven based on the quarters like it is with the targets and the goals that you'll find with the new vehicles, believe it or not, one of the best times to buy is going into a long weekend, going into those sales, Black Friday sales, even Christmas Eve, leading up to Christmas. A lot of those big sales, the long weekends, those are the weekends where there's a strong retail push by industry as a whole. That's where you want to get in, because there's going to be a real strong push to move their product. That's where you possibly want to do some shopping. So consider those factors as well. So my fourth tip to you guys is, maybe your old car right there is showing its age. You know it's going to need some major repairs. Maybe there's going to be issues with it along the way and you kind of hesitate spending a whole lot of money. Start planning. So the fourth tip is all about preparation and planning. So leading up to that, you know in advance your car's starting to wear out. Maybe the fan heater isn't working. Maybe some of the electrics are starting to fail. Possibly you know the whole front end's getting loose and you know you're going to have to spend $3,000 or $4,000 doing front end upgrades and repairs on your car. Brakes, tires. Maybe you know that there's a whole host of big repairs coming up very, very soon. Start shopping. Put something on the calendar that you might project out that you might be looking for that car. But what I would suggest is start test driving those cars that you're interested in. Don't wait till the last minute, because that's another big fail, is being in a panic. When the dealers know that you're in a panic and you're in a push to get that car because finally your car broke and now you're in a rush to buy that car, that's when you're going to pay too much. So you don't want to be stuck in that predicament. What you do want to understand is take out different models, different cars that are in your budget, that are in your interest zone that you want to possibly look at buying. Test drive them, experience them, learn the ins and outs, understand the reliability issues, understand the cost of maintenance, understand where your budget lies. Get a good handle on the vehicles that you possibly will be buying. Once you know that, don't be in a rush. Look for sales, negotiate, work 2 or 3 dealers against each other. Do that shopping, get those quotes from a couple of different luxury brands. Most major cities now have at least 2 of every major luxury manufacturer on board. Get your best pricing in order. Get all of that laid out and make sure that you've got a great salesperson tagged, so you have somebody that reach out to. Now, we know a lot of salespeople change jobs more than some people change their underwear, but a good salesperson will likely be at that same dealership when you're ready to shop, say in 3 months, 6 months down the road. Make sure you have that person tagged, have their business card, and have them on speed dial, so that when you get to that point, you're able to walk in and make a firmer deal. But get those quotes on the front side. Be prepared. So finally, when the vehicle that you're driving now is on the verge of failure, you can essentially drop it, trade it in, move it along, do whatever you have to do, and then you can step into your next vehicle. You never ever want to be in a panic, and you never want to be in a rush, because that's when you're going to pay too much. So that's exactly what we did. When I bought the Jag, I knew previously that that was the car I needed to have. I loved it. It was such a great experience. I walked right in. I knew exactly, after numerous test drives of other cars, that was the car for me. When my wife ultimately ended up buying the Mercedes C-Class Coupe, we did a lot of shopping around, test drove numerous cars, and the person at the local Mercedes dealership was very respectful of our time. We kept in contact with them for months, and when it came time to pull the trigger, they worked with us to get a decent deal. They were very supportive and worked with us to get us a price that was actually fair. And of course, that all helped you, so be sure to check that video. It's going to really get into more detail on the 10 things you do not want to tell the dealer when you walk into the showroom. Hope to see you guys real soon. Catch you then. Bye-bye.